aims to convert mass transit vehicles to cleaner energy sources, significantly reducing emissions and promoting environmental sustainability.
And the executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Mr. Ola Olukoide, disclosed that the commission secured 3,175 convictions and recovered 156,276,691,242 naira 30 kobo between the 29th of May 2023 and the 29th of May 2024.
And in business, the foreign exchange market, Naira, has appreciated against the dollar by 0.7% during the week.
Outside Nigeria, South Africa held a national election Wednesday that could be the country's most hotly contested in 30 years, with the long-ruling African National Congress Party facing a stand test to hold onto its majority.
And Israeli forces took control of a buffer zone along the border between Gaza Strip and Egypt. The country's military said on Wednesday, giving Israel effective authority over the Palestinian territory entire land border. Israel has continued deadly raids on Rafah in southern Gaza, despite an order from the International Court of Justice to end attacks on the city, where half of Gaza's 2.3 million people had previously taken refuge.
Iran has opened a 5-day registration period for hopefuls wanting to run in the June 28 presidential election to replace Ibrahim Raisi, who was killed in a helicopter crash earlier this month, along with 7 other people.
Interesting. And that's the headlines for you. This year's themes of National Children's Day is Children Have a Voice, and let them hear, and let them your ears. It focuses on the need to raise awareness, to advocate for children's rights, and raise awareness about their needs. And join us to discuss more on this is Miss Toromade Faderera Mary, a program officer with the Children of Africa Leadership and Values Development Initiative. Thanks for joining us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks
for having me.
Good morning,
Mary. Thank you for coming to the studio.
Thank you.
Let's talk about this year's theme. Children have a voice. Let them hear. Let them your ears. What do you think about the theme, and how does this, give children the hope?
Okay. As we all know, children, especially in Nigeria, where we are, they are faced with a lot of challenges, abuse in different forms, sexual abuse, trafficking, child labor, and the likes, that they go underneath without voicing out because of the approach that we as parents and other stakeholders, uncles, aunties, give to children. We do not accommodate their feelings, their thoughts, because of maybe societal norms. So that is why CalDev came up with Children Have a Voice, Lend Them Your Ears for this year's Children's Day celebration, because we have been doing things the same way and we are not seeing changes. The Child Rights Act, for example, has been domesticated in a lot of states, but it has not been fully implemented. They might have been domesticated, but what are we... Okay. What are we doing about it? What results are we getting from it? Most of our parents, our children, they don't have this relationship that allows them to bring out their innermost fears and their troubles and experiences. Imagine the case of the late British bullying that happened. I'm sure that bullying must have started from somewhere. It didn't just resonate to that action that day. I'm sure it must have been starting gradually, little by little. Maybe they were not paying attention to it. They just felt, okay, it's just children's having confrontations and all that before it led to that. And in some cases, it might have gone far beyond that. Some children have passed on due to bullying, or they even commit suicide because they cannot communicate what they are feeling or their experiences with their parents or whomever they are living. Sometimes some children are even experiencing abuse right in their own home. Maybe an uncle, but when they communicate with their parents, sometimes it's even the parents that water down their expressions, their feelings. Sometimes even these children, they try to communicate with us with signs, with their body languages. Something is happening. Something is wrong with me. Can you not see it? That's why you see in some cases a child might just wake up on a fateful day and does not want to go to school. Maybe the child is experiencing something from school or something somewhere. He does not want to go to, or you are sending that child, oh, okay, go to uncle this, go and do this. And he said, no, I don't want to go, or he's feeling reluctant. Maybe that child is experiencing or going through some kind of abuse and does not want to experience it again. But you as a parent or as a caregiver or as a guardian, you are negligent. You are not paying attention to their signs, the signs that they are trying to communicate with. That's why CalDev has come up with this campaign to advocate for the Child Rights Act. It is not just enough for us to say, okay, we have Child Rights Act. What are the steps put in place to make sure that they are not just domesticated, but they are fully implemented and enforced, and all the people that are violating the Child Rights Act are held responsible?
All right. Okay.
Well, I'm happy you already brought up the discussion on the Child Rights Act because, like you said, so many states have actually adopted, domesticated it. But how do we move beyond just making it, an act of law in the states to feeling that impact in the community that there's a Child Rights Act, and every child? Or do we wait for maybe an NGO to come and say an XYZ child is hawking on the streets before government does something? Because if the act is functional, then there won't be any child on the streets hawking.
And how the student can be protected more?
Okay, I think the first thing we need to do is educate the public. A lot of people do not know that there's something like that is called a Child Rights Act. Some people are even they are criminals because they are unknown. They are criminals unknown to them, because they don't know that, okay, this thing exists, this thing is wrong. Leaving a child to be hawking on the streets without going to school is a form of child abuse. They do not know that there is something that is called Child Rights Act. So we need to educate the community. We need to start from the grassroots. We need to go to them with advocacy. We need to start from the confines of our rooms. Educate your children. You yourself, educate yourself. What is this? Is this what? Do you know that in the Child Rights Act, marking, creating or giving children marks,
Tribal
marks or tattoo, without their consent, all these tribal marks that they used to give children at birth, it is wrong. It is against the law, and anyone found doing that is supposed to be punished, fined, or even face a jail term. So we need to start with educating the community. This is this, and from there we'll know where to go.
How can we build a better future for our children? What role can we do to achieve this?
What role can we? Okay, like I said earlier, first of all, educate ourselves. Then we need to also bring it to the notice of the government that they are not doing enough. They are not doing enough, to be sincere. We need to let them know that we know our rights, and this is what you are supposed to do. There are provisions made in the Child Rights Act. There are provisions made in the Constitution for children to go to school, for their rights to be protected, and for everyone that violates these rights to be held responsible. But what have been done? Most times nothing happens.
Recently, I think it was just yesterday, I stumbled on a video of Femi Lazarus, Pastor Femi Lazarus, talking about the way we raise children in this part of the world, where we teach them respect in a way that they lose their self-respect and self-value and all that. So do you agree that generally also parenting have contributed to what we have today, or some of the challenges we have in terms of how children react to child abuse?
Yes, largely so. Parenting is also an issue. The way we train our children. Growing up as a child, I was made to believe that I didn't know anything about sex, the genital period, everything. There was no education. They will just tell you, if somebody touch you, you will be pregnant. If this one happen, so you are just scared. You don't even know what to do. Before you know, you end up in the wrong place because they have not gotten the right education, because they just instill fear in you. Don't do this. If you do this, this is what will happen. But there's no real enlightenment to why somebody should not touch your private parts as a child. These are the places you should not go. When somebody starts giving you some kind of signs, open up your mouth and say something. So parenting in Africa is something that we really need to address. The style of parenting, we need to address it. It goes beyond just spanking your child and chastisement. There are some kind of chastisement that the parents are supposed to be held responsible. They are supposed to be arrested. When they start beating I'm very sure that some parents have beaten some children. I've heard cases like that. Some parents beat a child that it results to their death, and you will not know.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate. And this is a conversation, of course, that needs to continue.
Well, Mary looks very passionate about this. So thank you for coming to the studio. I'm sure we'll have this discussion more for that.
Thank you.
Okay, from voting to counting and the final announcement, South Africa's 7th general election since the advent of multiracial democracy in 1994, where the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa badly weakened after presiding over the African National Congress Party was elected